Hi folks, Ricky Tang here, and you find me once again outside Completely Motorbikes, and I'm going to take the Yamaha XMAX 300 out for a little spin. Now this bike, believe it or not, is actually keyless as well. So at the moment we're in the off position. Let's get the camera down here, shall we? There you go. So we're in the off position. I better bring the key nice and close. So I've got a fob and a key if you need it. Push it in, let's swing it all the way to on. It wakes up and actually even says welcome on board. If I turn it off again, if I push it in, switch it to open, and I can press the seat. Now if you can see this, there's a lot of storage down here. I think we can get a helmet in the back side, possibly not at the front, but there's quite a recess in the seat as well, if you can see it. Good amount of storage space under the seat here. For fuel, that's down here, is a fuel filler. So what I'll do there is push this off switch in and out, and then switch it over to the filler icon. There you go, filler in there. Got to have a brake lever in to start the scooter, and you also got to have the side stand up. The engine actually will not run with the side stand down, so you've got to be aware of that. Right, slow speed, don't drop it. Oh, that's nicely balanced. I'm going a bit too fast. Oh, wow. That is extremely well balanced. There's no one behind me. I'm going to slow down again. I'll get my feet out just in case I do unbalance. Look at that. Oh, I am unbalancing now. Just as long as you've got a couple of mile an hour on board, it's balanced very well. It's a low centre of gravity. So first impressions on this scooter. Well, the first thing is, and I don't know if I can do this, is I'd like to adjust the screen. There's a bit of buffeting going on. Not so bad now I'm doing 35 miles an hour. But I was just getting it a bit in the face just now at a slightly higher speed. Well, I'll try again in a minute. Let's get on a dual carriageway and we'll see what I make of it. In what I'm finding to be a fairly common scooter trait, the front brake is rather gentle, not much power to it. I think that's fairly commonplace on scooters with small wheels. And the back brake feels a little bit stronger than the front. About 27 horsepower, so not exactly underpowered. Look at that. Let's get away from the line, quite nice. I'll tell you what, quite deceiving how quickly this little 300 gets up to speed. I'm already doing 70, didn't take long at all. All I'm finding though is there's turbulence hitting me at the top of the head. If I duck and look forward a little bit, the turbulence totally goes away. I'm not sure if the screen's adjustable. So I think for this ride I'm going to keep it fairly urban, in and out of the town centre. I think that's what it's made for, really. The seat is very comfortable on first impressions. It's wide, very supportive, can't go back very far. I don't know if that's just a me thing, personal preference, but I might prefer to sit back if I had the opportunity, sit back a bit more. One thing which is quite common with maxi scooters is that they're quite wide at the seat. So although you feel quite low to the ground, when you try and put your feet down, your thighs are spread out, and I'm not even getting the balls of my feet down, to be fair. I'm getting the tips down on both sides, so I feel stable enough. I can't get my feet down fully. Now let's have a little look at the trip computer. Oh, I've got air temperature, battery voltage, traction control settings, miles per gallon I think that is. Like an idiot I just went to rev the engine and I moved. I'm not riding a motorbike. Fuel consumption, average speed, yeah, a fair bit of information there. Okay, this little lever, you might not be able to see it, you can actually push it to the right or to the left. And you have a top row of information and a bottom row of information. Now with a kind of a machine that's supposed to be used in the urban environment, the thing that would be quite important is suspension quality, because we know that city roads are usually pretty bad, at least over here in the UK. I'll find out shortly whether the suspension's adjustable. I suspect the front isn't, but the back might be. We'll have a little look. The only thing I can test really here is how quickly we get away from the lights. Do we keep ahead of the traffic? That's a resounding yes. After a couple of seconds I was already going faster than I should be. So it doesn't accelerate with a lot of force, but it accelerates quickly nonetheless. What's it like over a speed hump? Ooh. Back end's a little firm. Front was a little bit more compliant than the back. Yeah, definitely. The front takes that speed hump nicely. The back's just a little more rigid. But then again, I think with a machine like this, the engine is hanging on the swing arm, I suspect. So not quite like a conventional machine. Right, let's swing around this bend, shall we? Oh, swing is quite nice. With the footboards down here, there's a fair amount of scope for moving your feet forward or backwards. If you're a motorcyclist, you might want to bring your feet back a bit, but when you do, your legs are more out in the wind then. You don't get quite the protection from the front of the bike. I just tried sitting forward on the seat to see if I can get my feet down any easier. But as you get to the end of the seat, it gets a bit firmer and you kind of lift a little bit. You kind of sit a little higher, so it doesn't really help with your feet. So I got a 32-inch inside leg, not the shortest around, although I'm only 5'7" or 170 centimeters. And I can imagine with maybe 30-inch or less, you'd be struggling to get both feet down at the same time. Maybe test rides aren't an option where you are, but if you can even just sit on the bike, if you're thinking about buying one, give it a go and just see if you can actually get your feet down comfortably. Side stand's easy to get to. The main stand, I'll give it a go. Oh wow, that was the easiest thing ever to get onto the main stand. Okay, fuel cap is not kind of tethered, so you've got to watch out for that. Let's get the good stuff in. Interesting to discover there. Well, it's not that interesting, I suppose. Well, I've got a brake reservoir here for the front brake, and there's obviously also hydraulic for the rear brake. So you've got two reservoirs at the top here. Switch gears, fairly simplistic, which is good. Not too many buttons to worry about. You got main and dip and the path light switch there. We got the indicators. We got the horn. We've got run and kill switch, hazard lights, and that trip meter switch forward and backwards, like I mentioned. I like the cubby holes at the front, and I like the fact that they're padded. I've got no idea why they're padded. because my knees aren't anywhere near them, I suppose in case of an accident, or just to make it look a little bit posher. If you put both brakes on hard, you stop quickly. Just not an awful lot of feel to the brakes, especially the front one, but as a team they slow you down well enough. If you're hard on the back brake alone, then you will kick off the rear ABS. Shall we accelerate? Yes we shall. Let's go. 45, 50, 55, 60. I'll stop there. It's actually a bit too fast for this stretch of road, but yeah, getting up to 60-ish, 70 doesn't take any time at all. It's not underpowered in the slightest, just not overpowered either. How many scooters have I ridden now? The Piaggio Vespa GTS 300 Super, I think it was, the BMW C400X, the CE04 BMW, the electric scooter. Where does this sit for my very first impression in this short ride? Seems to be quite similar to the C400X. Obviously that bike's a bit more powerful, and it has a better dash. Well, depends on what you're looking for, but that's got built-in turn-by-turn navigation, you know, phone connectivity, which I don't think this scooter has. To summarise then, feels very self-assured, this little scooter, kind of well developed. The only thing is the back end can be a little bit firm over potholes or speed humps, but maybe try to avoid those and it's no problem. Front end I quite like, it's fairly compliant. If you go over a pothole, like a sudden dip in the road, you will get a little bit of shake out of the bike, where it doesn't quite manage to suspend or damp those dips in the road. Like we're talking potholes, like a sudden half-inch drop. But other than that, seems to handle the urban side of things well. I have a concern about wind blast at higher speeds. But yeah, you might think a 300cc bike hasn't got enough power. This has got enough power. It has, really has. Goes into the bends nicely as well, around roundabouts, no problem. On these lovely dry conditions anyway. So my first concern was suspension. The rear's a bit stiff over bumps. The preload is adjustable potentially, but it's only got 2 more notches for its softest setting, so I don't know if really I can do anything about that. As you can see, the engine is part of the swing arm back there. Nice DRLs there. It might not let me turn the lights on unless I'm running. There we go. Nice set of lights there. That must be low beam, I presume. This is main beam coming up now. Oh, a centre light just appeared out of nowhere. Alright, cool. At the back, nice, wide, and quite easy to see. Indicators are built in on the back as well. I'll show you one of them. I'll show you the hazards actually. Cool. Awesome. Okay. That about wraps up this little walk around. Thanks to Completely Motorbikes for letting me take this little scoot out for a ride. I enjoyed it. And putting foot pegs there for you. And I'll see you folks in the comments. Take care. Ta-da.